Hey, RDG Ricky here, guys. We live again from the casting couch, this time with 3 guys. Might be a little weird, but let's go. Today, well, in this video's topic, we're going to talk about a little something that's got me heated, and I'm sure it's got my man Cookie heated, and then we'll go into maybe a little bit more of a positive note of what we can see from this. Now, we're going to talk about some of these rumors and some of the things that's gone on in the MLB all season to this point. We've seen some moves, Garrett Cole go to the Yankees, stuff like that. There's been rumors about some big superstars being moved. Haven't been moved to this point. But us as being fans and big fans of the respective teams in which their aces, their big dudes are talked about being on the move, has got us tight. Cookie, tell us about what you got beef with.
Right now I have beef with the fact that, Marcell Ozuna, who is he with right now? The Atlanta Braves, right? So the whole thoughts about signing Arenado, well, I'm going to go back to Bryce Harper, okay? Listen, I understand that he probably didn't do so well with the Phillies at some point this past season, but the reason I'm bringing that up is Philadelphia did not put up enough of a fight. The Cardinals did not put up enough of a fight to take him away from Philadelphia because they were the front runners, okay? So, we got Ozuna. Ozuna did not have the greatest year. They didn't pretty much offer him something hard enough for him to keep him on the team. So now he's gone. The Arenado talks right now, I don't know what's going on because, I tried to keep up, but from the looks of it, the owner says, hey, Arenado, you're going to stay here. Arenado says, I want out. I wanted you guys to build this team around me. You promised me you were going to make this team better, but I'm still here. But hey, as a Cardinals fan, I want you on my team. But guess what?
It makes no sense. They just extended the guy, and then you want to trade him? Why invest that money in the first place?
Right.
Throwing mixed signals.
You're throwing mixed signals, and then you got the Cardinals who, we got Goldsmith. We have a hell of a first baseman, a hell of a bat, but here's the problem. We don't have Ozuna. If you don't sign Arenado, if you can't get him, who are we going to have to help Goldsmith? So that means, are we really, seriously, are we saying we're going to do our best here to take the division with a few players that are just coming up from AAA? Right. So, yeah, I'm mad because you're saying you got money. The Cardinals have money, but they're settling for mediocre baseball.
Yeah.
Look what Cincinnati has done with their team. They're beefing up right now. Yeah, everything is on paper. At the end of the day, the players have to play the game. But the Cardinals have made no moves whatsoever. Yes, we got a guy from, I believe it was, I can't remember if it was the Tampa Bay Rays. And the reason they do that is because they want to use him as straight bait. And I'm sorry, but at this point, it looks like Arenado may just end up staying in Colorado, which you're telling the Cardinals fans is like, guess what? Suck it up because you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're not going to get no Arenado. You have no Ozuna. And,
What's the protection for Paul Goldschmidt?
There's no protection. And, at least sign Donaldson, please. Get Josh Donaldson at least, please, and play third baseman because, we can't rely on Carpenter. He's been on and off in the last few years. And yes, we have, Edman, who had a hell of a season coming off of AAA, for us. But he is not a true third baseman right now. I'm not saying that he's never going to be, but he did good for us. But what I'm saying is we need a legit third baseman too. Right. I don't see Carpenter being in the team, after this year. But yeah, I have beef. If we don't sign Arenado, you're telling the fans that, suck it up.
Now, guys, I've been putting it on my Facebook page, and we know I'm a Red Sox fan. I got a major beef with this whole Mookie Betts situation. I'm mad to the point where, I want to just take this goddamn microphone, and I just want to smack it the hell off this table. I'm going into rant mode right now. I am absolutely just pissed off at the way this has gone. Mookie, you see what they did in LA. They are losers year in and year out. They invest in that team.
Yes.
They signed the best player in baseball to the contract he wanted. He could have gone probably anywhere he wanted, and I don't understand why he wants to stay there other than he loves it there because they lose every year.
Yes.
He got a contract. So, you're talking Mookie Betts here, okay? Mookie Betts. You know, I had a discussion with one of my friends. He's a Red Sox fan as well. He tells me, I'm not sure about giving him that money. He went from an MVP to hitting what he hit. And you know what I have to say about that? Sign me up if a Mookie Betts off year is him hitting 290 with 30 home runs and 80 RBIs with multiple stolen bases plus that gold glove in the outfield. If that is an off year, sign me the hell up right now. What the hell are you waiting for?
Right.
That guy, listen, you want to get under that salary cap? You want to get under the luxury tax? I understand David Price, trying to move David Price is like trying to perform miracle. It really is. Nobody wants to pay that bum who's getting, $30+ million a year, paying him as the best pitcher in baseball when he is far from it. Right. The guy just got over his postseason phobias in 2018 by the grace of God. Because that's what it was. Nobody saw that shit coming. He was trash up to that point. Fighting with Dennis Eckersley and all this other BS off the freaking field theatrics. And I understand you can't get rid of him. JD Martinez had the option to pick up. I love him. Cool. Jackie Bradley, you're going to sign him for another $11 million. I know that's not going to mean much. But, to me, you get rid of anything else you can get rid of other than Devers and Bogarts, which you just signed. You make that happen. The top 3-4 player in all the whole league, you need to sign that man. I'm not saying as an organization you need to bend over with no Vaseline and take it up the rear end and give him just a blank check for him to sign it. That's not what I'm saying. But all Mookie Betts is wanting is fair market value, and goddamn it, Red Sox, give it to that man. The last 2 contract negotiations and last contract offers you guys have given has been reported. It's been off by $100 million. If that isn't a kick in the balls and a smack to the face with smelly fingers that were just in somebody's butthole, I don't know what that says. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's embarrassing to me. There's no reason why that guy should leave. That guy could never vision in anywhere. This guy was drafted by your organization, brought up through the ranks, through the minor league system, homegrown talent. We've seen the guy blossom before our eyes, and you're just going to let him walk because you're too fucking cheap and because you want to line your pockets? I understand this new philosophy with a new general manager and Hayne Bloom and him wanting to, this is not the Rays organization. You have money to work with. They have money to spend.
Right.
Number 2 payroll in all baseball.
Right.
Get rid of the bums. You keep the guys that win you the ball games. Right. I think it's that simple.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, if you can't tell already, I got Looney Tunes fucking smoke coming out of my ears because I feel that passionately about it. It gets me so pissed. And you know what? I can't blame it on the new general manager because Dombrowski, I appreciate you making the moves to get us that world championships, but you royally fucked us with a finger condom. Terrible moves, terrible contracts. You handcuffed us to the point where the owner just wants a dumb salary. But you know what? This is not the way to do it. But I guess if we're going to have to do it, and you know what? They have, to me, since they're so far off from the money situation, to me it says the Red Sox have no intentions on re-signing Mookie Betts. So you can't just let the guy walk, and you can't let him start the season, have a good year, and then you trade him halfway through the year. How stupid does that look? Looks like you're giving up on a season of the franchise. You can't do that. It's a bad PR look. Right. So I guess at the end of this, there could be a silver lining. And I'm just not there to look at it, so that's why I got Alex here for me to tell me what the silver lining could potentially be. Alex, take it away.
Well, I want to start off with the whole Dombrowski thing that he was talking about. When Ben Cherington was a GM, he was more of a conservative guy. He liked to keep his prospects in town, and he didn't really make... he made some small moves to try to make an impact, but it didn't work. When Dombrowski took over, he right away, shipped away a couple... prospects to San Diego for Kimbrel. We ended up acquiring a few other players. I can't remember who exactly now. But I just remember him depleting our farm system within the 2 or 3 years that he was with us. And it kind of hurt us. And now that we're looking at it, when you look at the big picture and you see that we're on the luxury tax and we're tight on money and this and that, we have maybe 2 to 3 prospects that are like in the top 100 if you want to talk about it. You know, we can't acquire anyone. We don't have any up and coming players other than Bobby Dalbec. You know, you got Devers. That's what 22, 23, coming off one of his best seasons ever.
He's gonna be a stud.
In my opinion, obviously losing a player of Mookie Betts, it's gonna hurt. You know, that's gonna break your freaking heart. You don't want to lose a player like that. But if you save that money for that contract, just think about it, man. You trade. Let's say we do trade Mookie Betts to the Dodgers, and that's the only time. Listen, if we're gonna trade Mookie Betts, it's gotta be to the Dodgers. They got the best prospects. So I would like to see like an Alex Verdugo, maybe a Dustin May, the Ruiz, the catcher. You know, because Sandy Leon's gone. We only got Christian Vasquez. I would like to see some depth in there. You know, look at our roster. Look at our bullpen. Our bullpen is full of mediocre freaking guys that. I mean, they can't even freaking stop. They can't stop the bleeding, man. So, in my opinion, trading Mookie Betts might be the best way to go. I mean, if you look at the bigger picture and from years down the road, you can sign Devers to an extension. You can sign Benintendi. You can, JD. We don't really know what's gonna happen with him.
He's old.
Erod coming off of his best season. Who's to say he doesn't come back and does even better? You want to sign him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sale, you don't really know because half the season he was acting like a little bitch. Oh, my elbow. Well, you know what? We might already have our horse on our team, and he's not even making the big bucks.
Right.
You know, like I said, man, losing a player like Mookie Betts hurts, but if you can trade him, put Alex Verdugo in right field and get a starting pitcher and maybe another bullpen chip. And then later down the road, you got these other big free agents. We'll have money. We'll be under the luxury tax. I feel like with this team, they can, even without Mookie Betts, they can contend.
I can agree with that.
It's not like if they lose Mookie Betts, they're done for it.
No.
You know what I mean? It's going to hurt us. Absolutely.
Right.
But they're not a bottom of the barrel team. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, maybe moving Mookie Betts is the right move.
They're going to probably have to do it.
I think so. And another thing too, David Price. That's a terrible contract, and I've been looking.
I didn't
really
care for
close.
his signing from the beginning.
Right.
I told you
I know.
when they signed him, I didn't care for the signing because I seen him from the same division coming from the Tampa Bay Rays. The guy, he flashed signs of being very elite, but always had issues. Yeah. Always did.
He struggled against the Elite.
Right now, this is what I gotta say. I agree with both of you. It sounds like both of our organizations are somewhat in the same boat, except you guys are tied up with Mookie Betts and then again David Price. But I read that the Dodgers are giving you a offer package so that you can send. Obviously, is the Red Sox want to send Mookie Betts and David Price. Listen, I agree with you. I would keep Mookie Betts. I would want him because he is a hell of a player.
Yeah.
He's an outfielder. He's a hell of a defensive guy. One of the best, if not the best, okay? And then he can hit for power, for RBIs, and he can run.
Yeah.
So that's a guy you don't want to get rid of, but obviously, like you said, he deserves that money. Yeah. If you want to walk away from him, then do the David Price. You can get 3 guys because I believe that it was you mentioned Verdugo, and I think May, and I can't remember if it was Jock Peterson or what, but there are 3 players that they're offering, and you know what, I would take it because you're doing away with Price's salary, and then you're doing away with Mookie, and then you can definitely you need to find a starting pitcher,
right, and
you need to add a key player or 2 more for the bullpen because your bullpen has to get stronger.
Right. And I can't remember exactly his name, but like you were talking about the bullpen. I've seen scenarios where we get a prospect from the Dodgers. His name is like Tyler Gosselin or something like that. Good dude. If you watch his tape, his freaking splitter is amazing. And like I said, if you look at the Red Sox bullpen, I mean, you got Workman, you got Brazier, Barnes, and And honestly, I can't even tell you the other guys. I mean, you got
let me tell
Bobby
you,
Pointer.
Let me tell you something about that.
I mean, it's just sad.
Brandon Workman that you told me. Dombrowski, you son of a bitch at the beginning of the year. I was son of a bitch. Your ears must have been ringing because I was talking hella shit about you. Because he set this team up for failure. And him and Alex Cora set this team up for failure early on in the 2019 season. Yeah. Between Alex Cora sitting these guys too damn long, not letting them get their work in the spring training, right?
Yeah.
And then you go ahead, and this asshole, you lose your closer, Craig Kimbrell. Okay, you don't want to pay the guy, fine, whatever. But then you go ahead and don't sign Joe Kelly, which was your setup guy, essentially. You let him walk in free agency. And then what the hell do? You don't replace him with anybody of any quality? So then it ends up being like a freaking tryout, a big old tryout. It's the battle of the bums in the bullpen to see who's going to make it. So Brandon Workman becomes the most consistent guy in the bullpen, and he ends up being the closer. By some miracle, he ended up being some sort of consistency in the bullpen. Well, what the hell is that shit? Poor.
1 year you let your closer Kimbrell go, and then the season after that you let Joe Kelly go. It's like
no, it's in the same.
It was the same
offseason.
Okay, so it was the same season. So and so you're saying, hey, guess what? We're letting our best two pitchers from the bullpen go, but it's okay. You know what? We're going to put Band-Aids and take care of this.
Our offense will come up, and it did it. It just wasn't the same.
No, because the bullpen is so important. Look at the games that you had to play where you needed to start the game with a relief pitcher.
It was an opener.
Yes. And the bullpen is so important. And they need to strengthen that. So it's like, what if you keep Mookie Betts or trade him? In order for you to be successful, you need to come up with at least two solid guys for the bullpen.
Yeah, you need
and a starting pitcher.
Right.
No, I agree with you with Edwin Rodriguez. Hey, Erod, listen. I think the guy, he has a lot of potential. He falls behind on a lot of the counts. I watch him because you know what? I'm a Cardinals fan, but I love watching the Red Sox. I don't feel bad that Cora is gone because you know what? I think you need a better manager. You need somebody that knows when to pull a pitcher out of the game and when to leave him a little bit longer. I think you can find someone that has more experience and, again, somebody that is actually going to make better decisions for the team. I think
he suffered from poor decision-making at times.
Yes.
Now, and I think all in all here, to wrap this up, I think I would really like to see Nolan Arenado on the move. Anybody would love to see that man. I'd like to see him traded to the Cardinals at some point. Yes. I don't see it happening at this point, but look for him to get moved because he just doesn't look to be very happy after what occurred. And as far as the Red Sox go, if that trade package for Mookie Betts doesn't give me an erection that lasts more than 6 hours, I'm going to be one pissed off motherfucker. And I'm just going to leave this with you guys there. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, share. Back at you again, baby. Appreciate y'all. That's what I do want. Yeah.